We are having here a guest, Ewen MacAskill. Is a Scottish journalist who worked for 22 years on The Guardian, ending his career in September 2018 as the Guardian's defense intelligence correspondent. He is now media mentor with Thomson Foundation in the United Kingdom. But the organization's activities are, I can say, are worldwide. So before receiving our guests, I wish Rachel or Alexi, someone there in the room, can help us introduce the class in just 1 minute, so he can have the floor after your introduction of all the participants and the trainings in brief. Rachel or Alexi, the floor is yours.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, sorry for the technical mix-up. We are not able. We are not able to see you. We are unable to see you, but we can hear you.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Let me try again. The camera's on.
I can see you. I can see you.
Now we can see you.
Okay, okay.
Now we can see. So we are here, a group of journalists, 23 of us, and we have been undergoing mobile journalism training since Monday. Today is the 4th day. We had expected Christophe to be with us today, but because of the restrictions that were announced yesterday, he was unable to join us. But he had told us about you, and we are expecting to hear, to give you 15 minutes to take us through what you had prepared for us. So participants can see you and they can hear you. You can take over from there.
Yeah. What have you been doing? What did you do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
So let me help explain that. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm one of the instructors. My name is Ethan, and I'm a beneficiary of Thomson Foundation, actually.
Good.
Yeah. So we've been basically it's more of about module. We've been training journalists about mobile journalism since Monday. And one of the things we're looking at is some of the applications they can use, the overview of mobile journalism, benefits of mobile journalism, limitations, how to produce a story using a smartphone, the best tools to use in mobile journalism, which kind of the best phones to use, the best, let's say, we're talking about gimbals and all those tools that they have to use. So we also send them out on the field to take some stories.
Oh, good.
Do a bit of screening, short and sample stories, and then we critique them. We analyze them, we review them, and we give them feedback depending on what we know and what we think is the best practice out there. So yeah, we're trying to see how best we can make a publishable video using smartphones in general.
Okay. I've a very strong Scottish accent.
No.
So if you're struggling to hear me, maybe someone could translate. I'm going to make four points, and if someone wants to translate after each point, just to summarize. Does that make sense?
Mm.
Sure, yeah.
It does make sense.
Yeah. Christophe is used to my accent. I was in Kigali in December, and I helped. I worked with Bernard Namata doing a one week course on freedom of information, how to put in freedom of information requests. And the same group of journalists came to London in January, and we visited the BBC and did some teaching there as well. I'd been to Rwanda before. I was there in Rwanda about 2000 for a news story. The points I wanted to make are things. I've been a journalist for almost 50 years. I'm not a mobile journalist. I started as a print journalist. I worked in newspapers. But for the last 10 years, we have to do everything. We have to blog, we have to do podcasts, we had to do video, we had to write for the paper, we had to do features. So nowadays, you have to be versatile. You have to do everything. And the great thing about a mobile phone, as you've shown this week, is you could do a story on your mobile phone. You can edit it quickly and have it up on air within 30 minutes. So some of the apps are very basic, but they still work, and you can get other more sophisticated ones. I don't know what the statistics are for Africa, but in Europe and America, something like 70% of people reading news get their news from mobile phones. And what they're looking at mainly is video these days. So mobile journalism is where the future is. And the terrific thing is, I mean, that's all you need. You need a smartphone. And before, when if you turned up with a big heavy camera and a sound recorder and microphones, that could be quite threatening. It could be difficult in difficult situations. It could intimidate the people you want to interview. It might upset soldiers or security people. Whereas if you turn up with a smartphone, people are more usually more willing to talk to you. Do you want to summarize that, or?
Sorry?
Could you just sort of quickly translate that?
What? I didn't get to hear the last bit. There was a connection issue. Last bit.
I was just saying that.
Was that a question?
No, it wasn't. Yeah, I was asking if someone could just quickly translate what I said over the last few minutes. Just a quick summary.
Okay, so sure. So what he's trying to say, so he's saying that aho isi irimo kugana icyo dukeneye ni telefone zidufasha ku buryo namwe murabizi iyo ufashe kamera ukajya gutangira gufotora n'urugero nko kuri abari muri Kigali ukajya nko kuri convention center abapolisi bahita bakubwira ngo ariko se urimo gukora icyaha ufite ya kamera nini ariko iyo ufite telefone yawe no twese zina nubwo bafite urumva cyangwa se ahantu hose no kuvuga ngo muri security situations cyangwa ahantu hagoranye niyo usanga kenshi usanga abanyamakuru muri iki gihe bakoresha amatelefone yabo ushobora gukora telefone mu minota 30 akabahereje muri ku gitangazamakuru runaka. So nibyo arimo kutugaragariza ibyiza bya telefone ugereranyije na kamera za zindi tumenyereye. Dan, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Many thanks.
Right.
What you're doing this week, you're teaching the techniques, but what people mustn't forget is you're still, if you're a news reporter, you still have to think in terms of a story. What's news? Sometimes we ran a course on mobile journalism in January, February this year. And Christophe took part and was one of the finalists. Now, when we ask people to send in stories, quite often they would send in things that nice videos, but they weren't connected to the news. You know, I mean, having the mobile journalism technique is only one half. The other half is not just about technique, it's having an understanding of what a news story is. Okay, sorry, could you translate that?
Yeah, sure. So arimo kuvuga ngo ibyo turimo kwiga hano kugira technique za mobile journalism ni kimwe, ariko no kumenya angle yo gukora inkuru ukoresheje telefone ni ikindi. So ni naho twigaga hano ngira ngo twatangiye kuvuga target audience. Ese ni ihe yigiye kuri tele? Yes, uzi gufata telefone neza, uzi gufata angle neza, ariko uzi noneho hari story ushaka urayizi. So that's niyo arimo kuvuga, kumenya uburyo ngo bajya bohereza abantu muri training zabo bakabasaba gufata amavideo urumva, ariko ugasanga rimwe afashe video. I don't know if you allow me to stand.
Yeah, of course.
So ngo bakabohereza gufata amavideo, ariko video bafashe ntabwo ari journalistic videos. So here we are talking about mobile journalism. Journalism cyangwa se itangazamakuru ikoresheje telefone neza, ariko ugasanga undi agiye afashe so barimo kuvuga, I don't know, story, just a piece of story, right? Ndabaho urugero, I'm not criticizing anyone, ariko n'uwafashe video ya Virunga Hotel, that is not journalism. Journalism ni ukuvuga inkuru ifatika ishobora gutambuka ikagira umumaro. So nibyo arimo kuvuga, gufata video ni kimwe no gufata inkuru ikindi. Yes, you can take over.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Many thanks for translating. In the middle of the Mojo course that the Thompson organization was running, COVID happened. So, and we, as part of the course, people were asked to go out and do news stories on video and then send the edited program to Thompson. And I was one of the judges. But because of COVID, it was difficult for people to go out and do interviews. So all the original plans had to be abandoned, and people had to produce stories in the new COVID environment, in the lockdown. Now, some people responded well. Just because of COVID doesn't mean you can't produce interesting stories. Don't take risks. I mean, I see you've all got your masks on. I'm at home, so I don't need a mask. Don't take risks. Don't break lockdown. But you can still produce interesting stories. Christophe just left outside his house and did a video of what life was like in Kigali during the first weeks of lockdown. He just took pictures of the streets being basically empty. There's few cars, a few people around, in some scenes of Kigali, it could be done. You could do interviews, you do Zoom calls or get in touch with people. Politicians and other people are at home. You can chat to them, you can video it. We had interviews, there were contributions from all around the world, from Latin America, Egypt, Ukraine, Russia, Germany, Rwanda, Somalia, Nigeria. And one of the best pieces was from the Lebanon, where a journalist interviewed her next door neighbor who was growing plants, and she spoke to him about why he was growing these particular plants and what the effect of COVID had been. A journalist in Egypt did a video. There was flooding. There was heavy rain in Egypt, and because of the flooding went through the streets, destroying houses. And she did a video of the flooding. So COVID doesn't stop you being a journalist, and in fact, it's even more important than ever to do it, because this pandemic affects everybody in the world. You should all be sort of recording, doing videos, capturing this historic moment. And there's a huge appetite everywhere for stories about COVID. If you could translate that, and then I've just got one final point.
All right. So the last part you're a bit breaking, but I'll try to break it down for them.
Yeah.
You're talking about not taking risks, but covering the story, going out in the crisis, but being able to bring the story, to find a story. Let me use that word. So yeah, arimo kuvuga ngo no mu bihe bikomeye, no mu bihe bigoranye, kandi I think twese muri iyi minsi ndakeka ko twese twakoraga, avuga ati no mu bihe bigoranye, ati ushobora kugenda ugakora inkuru nziza kandi birashoboka. Ariko ntufate risk. I think that's the right word. Ntufate risk. Arimo kuvuga ko twambaye udupfukamunwa turi byiza, ariko nanone ntabwo bikubuza umunyamakuru kujya kuri field ugafata inkuru nziza ukoresheje telefone yawe, ariko ntibigushyire mu kaga kuko abantu coronavirus cyangwa se Lebanon hari ibibazo n'ibihugu bitandukanye na za Somalia, ukajya ahantu ni frontline, hari intambara, ariko ufite telefone yawe ukayibyaza umusaruro ku buryo ibi ntabwo bibuze, ariko reka mbahe urugero. There's a time twigeze kujya Somalia, dufite telefone, I think it was 15 something. So baduhaye telefone, mfata telefone, fotoza telefone, nari mfite na kamera yindi, ariko mfata video na telefone. And that very evening, about bomb blast, Al Jazeera yari sinsaba ayo mashusho. Igihumbi cyane cy'amadolari. So those are the things that you need to be active. Aho uri hose, ujisho kubera umunyamakuru ugomba kugira, you have to be active. Kubyaza telefone yawe umusaruro. Thanks. Take it on.
Thanks again for doing this. And this is the final 2 points, and it's short. One of the videos that was sent in during our mobile journalism competition showed what you could do even in COVID. The journalist went to a small park outside her house, and 2 security guards said she wasn't allowed in the park because of COVID. And she said the government rules said she was allowed in the park as long as she was wearing a mask. So she recorded this, and then she spoke to a couple sitting on the park bench, and she said, discussed, where they worried about COVID. And she just went round the park interviewing people and produced a very smart, good video. So it can be done. Sorry, this is the final point. I mean, lots of people go on courses and they want a bit of paper or a certificate to say they've done the course. You should just get on with it now. There's no time like the present. You should be putting together. You should be putting together videos now. Video your classmates, other journalists. Put together a video for yourself, just for fun, or your family, or as you're going out and about. And then start putting together videos. Think of story ideas. Do the video. I mean, don't wait. Get on with it today. I mean, I'm sure you're doing it already. You've been doing it already this week, but it should just become routine. Well, when Christophe and the others came to London, one of my colleagues, Deborah Kelly, and another a young mobile journalism instructor, did a short course and sent people out into London and told them to come back with a video. And it was impressive what people can do in a very short time. So don't wait, just get on with it. And so the final point, if there's any questions, I'm happy to take them.
Okay, ngira ngo arimo gusoza ariko icyo arimo kudushishikariza ni uko ibyo turimo gukora ntibigarukire hano muri training, kubera ko iyo ukomeje kwitoza n'izi application hari n'izindi application nyinshi zihari zishobora kubyaza umusaruro muri mobile journalism. Uko ukomeza witoza niko ukomeza biroroha ubuzima. Arimo gutanga urugero rwa Christophe ukuntu kemeza mbere arimo gukora mobile journalism training kuri Thomson Foundation. Babatumye inkuru yifatira ibyo abonye, ariko nyuma yaho kubera gukomeza kwitoza by the time bagiye kujya muri London, Christophe bagiye muri London kubera iyi program aho bari babiteze, ariko kubera ko bakomeza kwitoza. Of course, even us, even myself, cyangwa Lucas, cyangwa n'undi wese, ntabwo bifatira umunsi umwe. You have to keep practicing. So ufite ikibazo rero mubaza. I was translating the last bit and I'm welcoming questions. Yes.
Nanjye nabaza before all.
Sure.
Ewen.
Yes.
So most of journalists worries about the quality because most of phones are of poor quality. Their cameras are not powerful to have premium features. So, what are tips? What are tips that those journalists that have poor quality images should be used just to take interactive stories, video stories? I think what matters a lot is not the quality, but the quality, but the storytelling. What is the story behind the video? What are tips should I consider into account just to take very interactive and interesting videos?
Christophe, you're exactly right. It's easy for me in London because I've got a good phone, I've got good equipment, I've got a good internet connection. It's easy. I know that for some journalists it's difficult. They don't have much money. They can't afford expensive phones. But it has become easier. A phone I was using just a year ago was one I didn't buy it new. It was reconstituted. It was an iPhone 5, and now I've got the latest iPhone. But even on an iPhone 5, I was able to take reasonable pictures. I was able to do video and edit on it, even though it was not a particularly good phone. The Rwandan journalists that I met in Kigali and then in London had better phones than me. So some Rwandan journalists are, are sort of well enough off to have good equipment. Except there are others that probably maybe poor and can't afford the best phones. But the point Christophe made is the important one. It's not the quality of the picture. It's not the quality of the sound or the video that matters. I mean, you want it to be the best it can be, but if the story is good enough, people will want it. People will take it. If you've got a good story and you've recorded an important incident, people will take it. And Christophe and the others were always asking me, how do I get someone in London or New York or Nairobi or wherever to take my stories? If I do a video, why can I sell them? And you'll be surprised. At the time COVID began, news desks around the world were desperate for images from around the world. I had no idea what lockdown in Kigali looked like. I wanted to know what it looked like. So whether you put it on Instagram or Facebook, or you try and sell it to a news agency, if the story is good enough, if there's an interest enough, then people will take it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. You allow me to translate that?
So, sorry, could you translate that as well?
Yes. Abantu benshi bafite telefone nziza nibyo ibibazo tugira kugira ngo ati ni gute muri telefone yanjye nshobora gukora inkuru nziza niyo yaba atari telefone yatangiye amubwira ati mu by'ukuri experience ati aho mumaze guhura n'abanyamakuru benshi wasanga bafite telefone nziza kurusha ariko ntabwo ko wandushaga gukora inkuru nziza inkuru nziza ntabwo ari telefone ufite cyangwa ukoresha nuko wayikoze ushobora kuba wafashe amashusho meza ariko ukayikora nabi ariko mujya mubona kenshi niyo muri amateleviziyo hanze za CNN na Al Jazeera n'ibiki byose hari igihe wafata agaklipe k'amasegonda mirongo kafashwe n'agatelefone ubona ko karimo kuzuka neza ariko kubera ko ari inkuru ikomeye kandi ari inkuru nziza igatambuka kandi buriya iyo yatambutse hariya byanze bikunze abishyuye umuntu wakoze so ntabwo ari telefone nziza cyangwa se igikoresho cyangwa kamera nziza oya ni ukuntu wowe wakoze inkuru. Icyiza rero amahirwe dufite hano ni uko ariko noneho n'ibyo bikoresho turabifite udafite iPhone ariko ufite Tecno ushobora kubyaza umusaruro kubera ko you already have an idea of the story you ushaka gukora. Yes, go ahead. Any other question? You're still welcoming questions, I guess.
Sure.
They are free to ask in any language. English, Rwanda, or French.
Yeah.
It's okay. If there's no questions, that's fine. It's just...
Yeah. So I think they have taken in a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, but nonetheless, we want to thank you, guys. Really thank you through Christophe for sparing time to speak to us, to share your experience with us and your knowledge. It's immense. I believe everyone has benefited from it. Maybe I should allow one person to move a vote of thanks. Yeah, one of the participants to move a vote of thanks to you.
Thanks for being with us at this time. Thank you for sharing with us this experience. I'm Mr. Galero from Flash FM and Flash TV. I will be using this experience in my professional work. Thank you very much, and thank you indeed.
Being content.
Okay, thank you, Ewen. Thank you, Ewen. Our pleasure to have you.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Okay, Atan.
Yes.
Sinzi niba mufite umwanya cyangwa se nk'iminota nibwo yaba nk'itanu, hari utuntu dukeya n'uburyo n'ubundi nari kuza kuvugaho iyo mpari, cyangwa se niba ufite umwanya muto cyane
umwanya wadushiranye soza wivuga usoza
ukuntu wagiye muri England, muri UK.
Oya, icyo ntabwo ari cyo cya mbere ni icyo okay, nashaka ko dukora practical, nka sharing a screen, nka just demonstration, ngira ngo ariko ibyinshi mugenzi wacu ejo mwabigarutseho uburyo ushobora gufata interview. Hari amakosa amwe n'amwe akunze gukorwa akunze gukorwa iyo umuntu afata ifoto cyangwa se afata video kuri na telefone. Muri ayo makosa harimo gushekinga, ugasanga video ntigaragara neza, kudafatira muri angle itariyo, kandi burya aho washyize ifoto yahaze ishusho n'uburyo rihagaze ritagina cyane, nabyo bituma bikurura amaso y'abarebyi, bituma umuntu abasha kugomeza areba bitamuderanja cyane. Ikindi no gufata audio, ngira ngo yababwiye ko ekuteri imeze nka micro cravate, kano kabaho microphone, ngira ngo barabiberetse ku buryo ifata audio nziza cyane ukagira ngo ni intuzi. So rero nta mwanya uhari, so that ku buryo nashyiraho screen ya telefone yanjye. Gusa reka mbashimire nubwo tutabanye uyu munsi, ejo cyangwa ejo bundi cyangwa no mu bindi bihe ibyo byose, no mu yindi opportunity dushobora tuzabana, ngira ngo duhurira henshi, haba kuri tere mu mwuga wacu. Ndabashimiye cyane, mukomeze kugira amahugurwa meza kandi twirinda COVID-19.
Urakoze cyane Christophe.
Okay, bye.
I think it was helpful. It was a discussion. I enjoyed it. Especially Thompson Foundation.